All right. Welcome everybody to the third episode of Behind the Curtain. My name is Danny. Our second guest is none other than former HAW champion AMB. Welcome, AMB.
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hi. Welcome to this weird episodes that we're having over here that we're starting. I'm glad that you join us and be part of it.
Yeah, no problem, man. I always like doing stuff like this, especially, you guys took a bet on me. You guys gave me a big opportunity in my early on in my career. So anything you guys need help with, I'm always willing to help you guys out.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. You carry the company for a lot of months, and I appreciate what you did for us, and you still continue to do us, helping us out. And the fact that we help each other because you're running MCW, right?
Yeah, I have a little bit of a hand in that. It's just kind of like a labor of love with everybody involved. Just kind of honoring the late passing of Jimmy Smooth. So just kind of helping out with any promotion that I am involved with. I do help out with Galley Lucha Libre quite a bit. I offer my ring services to them and stuff like that. So I'm always willing to help out promotions. That are always willing to help me out. And even if they're not, there's no opportunity for me in the meantime, I'm always willing to make the trip and just go and check shows out because I love pro wrestling, man.
So how does it feel like you're so used to driving across the state, just wrestling and doing your stuff. Now you have a little more weight carrying the company, other than, you carrying Jimmy's dream, and now you're making it your own and making it like bigger. But at the same time, you're juggling with your personal life, with your wrestling career, and now you added a promotion. So how do you like juggle all that stuff without going crazy?
Oh man, for starters, it was something that I never asked for. It was kind of bestowed on me because they trusted me, and that meant a lot. Just with my dynamic and my relationship with Jimmy Smooth, he helped get me into wrestling. So it was unfortunate the way that we lost him and everything, very abruptly, and it was just a big honor for his family to trust me to kind of keep his legacy kind of alive within the Midwest wrestling scene. And just kind of balancing that stuff with my day-to-day life. Uh, I don't think about anything else other than pro wrestling. Um, it's definitely a passion of mine. This is not a hobby. This is a true lifestyle. And it's kind of grown into a huge learning curve for myself. And I've grown such a huge respect for promoters like yourself and everybody else involved because there is so much that goes into professional wrestling as a promoter and even as a wrestler that people don't even understand or realize. So it can be a challenge and it can get very tricky at times. But I think the best thing that has been working for MCW and myself is the fact that we have that passion and the fans definitely see that. They see how hard we all work and how everybody's working and um I think wrestling's just in a good space right now. It's in a good spot. Uh whether it's on TV or at the independent level. So it's just good to finally have some sort of way to actually contribute in a way that's bigger than just myself. So I'm very proud of that. And it can be a challenge, man. Lots of sleepless nights. I'm constantly looking at screens and talking to people and just trying to organize things, which is something that's been very useful in my day-to-day life as well. So um, as challenging as it could be, there's a lot of benefits from it.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like you're learning a different side of wrestling, other than, when you go to a venue, they tell you what to do and what they expect from you, and you just, you do your match, and then you go home. Now you're running everybody's.
Yeah,
like the venue, the
yeah.
promotion, the like you have to promote yourself out there. And it's like at the beginning it's kind of like hard because you try to understand what's going on, but luckily like we have people like in your side, like you have people that have different abilities to help you expand. Like you can sit back and you start and you can give your vision and then everybody start putting their stuff in, like somebody is great at promoting passing flyers and stuff. Somebody can go do videos and stuff. Like I saw, like I think last week or a couple of weeks ago, I saw that you started doing like interview where you had your desk and the background and all that kind of stuff. It looks like really professional, and that was a
Yeah.
great concept that you did. So how you pulled that off and how you just got to that point, that idea.
So I think like one of the biggest things that is very important in pro wrestling is just overall presentation, you know, uh, and you have to deliver on your presentation as well. So I think the biggest challenge has just been kind of establishing a consistent roster and just trying to figure out new ways to promote rather than just, hey, here's this flyer. And I think just getting people involved as characters, because I think that's what intrigues a lot of people about wrestling in general is the larger than life personas that a lot of us do have. And some of them aren't just characters, some of these people really live this way of life. And um, it's just very cool to give people a chance and an opportunity to, talk about those things and to do it in a presentable way, I think is the most important thing possible. And just letting people express their opinions, and just kind of share their ideas. I never really try to just tell people what they're going to do. You know, leave I always leave them with questions, I always want to know where their mind's at, what they're thinking, stuff like that, so we can all kind of work together rather than work against each other. And
Yeah, for
as
sure.
far as like MCW, like MCW is in no way, shape, or form like trying to step on anyone's toes or trying to compete with anybody at all. Uh, I think what we do have is just a solid group of people that are on the shows and a good fan base that just want to see people succeed. And it's a fun place. It's a good environment. Um, and it's just something kind of new. So I think it's pretty cool to be involved with something like that.
Yeah, because you're not trying to run just uh like an indie show. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to run just an indie show, pass flyers. And it's like you say, like it's like you're involving everybody, you're creating your characters, you're adding more stuff to the promotion. You're not sitting like, okay, next 2 months it's gonna be MCW and show up. Like you're adding stories, you're adding graphics, you're reaching out to people, getting some sponsors out there just to able to grow that promotion. And you grow and it basically just you give more like a platform for everybody else. Because if you stay small, you can only depend on a certain amount of people to do your show. But when you start growing, you start adding like more shows, you adding more festivals and charity events and all that kind of stuff. So it's like that's what you always trying to work for.
Yeah, just constantly growing, and I'm very big on like trying to give back to my local community in some way. And just being able to kind of provide something like that, just have consistent shows here is pretty cool in itself. But I would like to do more, events around in the summer in my community. I'm pretty wrapped up, I got a lot of stuff going on, especially during the summertime. Uh, I'm constantly wrestling myself at a lot of promotions, yours included. And renting out the ring, I'm always staying busy in some way with wrestling. And I got some big festivals that are coming up as well. And as far as like kind of to go back on the whole, how did that thing come about with the interview thing? I just want to shout out the Illinois Media School out of Chicago. Um, they're a huge part of the growth and the overall presentation of what MCW is gonna kind of transform to in the next few months. And they're amazing. They got all the resources, all the tools, and they even have a big studio, and that's where that was filmed at. So it was very professional. You know, we had about six different camera angles and everything like that, and nice photography studio next door, and just very welcoming people. So I just wanted to shout those guys out before I didn't mention that. So
No, yeah, yeah. Cause you know, they did a great job because I saw it, and it actually looked like when you used to look like after, I think it was when you watch Monday Night Raw, they had after Raw. I forgot the name of it, and then you had the little
yeah, like Raw
studio in,
Talk, I think it
yeah,
was.
Raw Talk, and
Yeah,
then and Smack Talk, I think it was. So
yeah.
you had that vibe when I saw it. You know, you had that little, you had the, you add like a personal conversation, but then you adding into the show. But you know, the fact that there's actually people out there willing to help you put all this together, you know, it takes some stress out of you and some weight out of your shoulders where you're like behind the camera, like managing stuff. So it kind of feels good, you know, seeing all this grow, the way you're growing from MC, like when the first you MCW started to where you took it, you know, like Jimmy would be super proud of you right now. So
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
and then like I'm pretty sure he's looking at it and he's like super proud of you. Like you're able to still follow your dreams. You're doing your rentals, you know, and you still not pulling punches when you're doing your shows. You know, like you still out there giving the fans 110%. You know, like it's, you don't even if you're tired, we can't see it because like your match last week for like with Nick, you both always kill it. Regardless of you face each other 1,000 times, you always come up with like a way to like leave the fans with like we need to see them again. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah, of course. You know, that means a lot, you know. I've been getting that response a lot lately just from a lot of people, and it does mean a lot, you know. Because there are days where, you know, I'm a little exhausted, but you know, I always give it 110%, you know, no matter where I'm at, no matter how many people's in the audience, no matter who I'm wrestling, you know, and like MCW, that's the effort that the fans see, and that's what makes them want to see this continue growing. And you know, I that's a huge embodiment of your promotion as well. You know, there's a lot of people that come to your shows and they see the effort that us as wrestlers were giving and how much time that you're putting in to promote your events, and you know, they really appreciate that.
no, yeah, yeah, like we put it like 110% of everything that we do. So, you know, we just gonna wrap it up. You know, I appreciate you showing up. How about you tell people like what's coming up for NCW in the next couple months?
Yeah, so Friday, April 25th, MCW Skydive Chicago in Ottawa, Illinois. MCW's hosting a street fight, including myself and Chris the Wildcard Mercer. Um, you know, Chris the Wildcard Mercer and I, we go way back in this wrestling world. He's kind of helped me get my start and train me and kind of get me up to speed, to say the least. And, you know, things have gotten to a very tense boiling point. And, you know, now we're going head to head in probably the biggest fight of my entire life on April 25th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, feel free to hop over to MCW Illinois on social media, click that ticket link and get your tickets. Also, we have MCW World Champion Eric Schultz will be defending the World Championship against Axel Rico. Axel Rico is a stud when it comes to professional wrestling. He is a master of the mat. Very seasoned, very experienced. This is a match that you're not going to want to miss. The World Championship's on the line. You know, there's a lot that comes to stake when it comes to the MCW World Championship. It means a lot to a lot of people for many reasons. And I know for a fact the fans are pretty pissed off that Eric Schultz has that championship. They feel he doesn't deserve it. They feel he didn't earn it. And Axel Rico is looking to make the fans happy and hopefully walk away as the MCW champion. And we got so much more going on at MCW just that night. I have some other shows coming up. I've also got Social Experiment Wrestling out there in Iowa, Albert Lee. That's going to be a very, very fun show. Get your tickets there as well. So Just kind of follow us all, support your local wrestlers, support your, independent promotions, your local promotions. You never know who's gonna catch a stride and be the next big thing and catch some momentum in the pro wrestling world. So you're seeing the future stars of tomorrow and you don't even know it at a very reasonable price. So definitely support professional wrestling at all levels. So
Yeah, definitely. It's like you just don't know who's just gonna be the big star in every shows that you see. So I mean, I appreciate you coming over. This is HAW Behind the Curtain with Danny AMB. Appreciate your time over here.
yeah, no problem, man. Anytime you need me on the show, hit me up, man. I love doing this stuff, Any support that you need from me, I'd love to pay it back forward to you. Like I said, you were one of the first promotions that kind of gambled on me when I first started, and I appreciate all the opportunities. And I really, though, would like to address the fans at HAW. You guys are kind of getting under my skin in the sense that you guys don't appreciate hard work, I don't know what I did to you fans, but I know one thing that HAW championship is looking real, real nice. So I just want to give you credit where credit is due, Danny. I appreciate you upgrading that championship because now there's something honorable that we can really represent at HAW. So I'm gonna keep my eye on Gunner Brave and I'm gonna keep my eye on these fans as well. They're kind of jawing off lately, and I'm just gonna outshow them. That effort is all that they need to see. I'm gonna give it my all, no matter what they feel about me. So I just wanted to address that, and thanks for having me, man.
No, no problem. And don't forget that you lost that number one contender chat match.
Hey, hey, we don't talk
So
about that. We don't talk about that, okay?
okay, just
Reagan,
a
if you're
reminder
listening,
that that claiming title and you haven't got to that level yet. So
hey, those, like I said that night, man, minor setbacks for major comebacks for Aura. Uh, Also, man, I just want to let you know I've gotten quite a few messages in the DMs from fans asking about Aura shirts. When are we gonna have them? The fans are really loving Aura.
well, we'll see. Sounds like a pretty good idea, but I don't think I want to have people running around encouraging Aura and do their stuff. So
Danny,
we'll see.
Danny, you want all of our faces on there. You got Nick Codis, one of the most underrated wrestlers, okay? You got Reagan Lydell in there. You got Robbie and Stone. You got myself. And then you got Theseus. Where was Theseus? What happened with him? Where was he at?
I don't know. I think he was taking a break.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions, man. I think I need to contact Aura, and I think we just need to regroup because we had a little bit of miscommunication at the last event,
You
and
probably have to do a
that's
meeting
not
with everybody.
that's not gonna happen again. I can promise the fans that, and I can promise you that, Danny.
Well, we have a few shows heading halfway through the year, so we'll see where Aura was dominating last year and continue to dominate this year.
Listen, all these fans need to know is they need to get their tickets for May 3rd, and they just need to come and witness Aura live in the flesh as we continue to take over Honor Among Wrestling. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. How about that?
Yeah, well, you heard it from AMB. Aura's kicking butt. So
Yep.
thank you everybody to join us. Until the next time.
Later.